When you are looking to amplify your message, it is really important that you understand what is your client expecting to experience, because there is a vast difference between a luxury experience and a value or less expensive alternative. And all of the touch points that you deliver will help your ideal client to figure out this most important question: are you in the right room? And so I'm super excited to welcome today our guest. Our guest today is going to be talking about creating a 7-star experience and how you can use that journey to attract a high-paying client. Guys, welcome to our show. Rana, Hassaan, I'm super excited to have you with us. Welcome. Let's have the great conversation about value and creating a great client experience. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Christine. Thanks for having me on the show. And I'm really looking forward to this conversation.
Thank you. I'm excited to have you. So let's start that conversation in your world. What do you need to think of in terms of the client experience in your world? What do you think are the most important pieces that we need to have on the table in order to figure out, am I in the right room?
Yeah, so when we talk about client experience, we talk about little and big experience that your customers and audience would have throughout their customer journey. Like from the point where they know about your offer or they start know about you, to know about you on social media or website, they enter into your world to the point where they finally become your loyal customers and start advocating you or start referring you to other people.
Mhm.
So during that whole journey, the set of experiences they are having, that is all the part of customer experience. May it be onboarding process, or what are they feeling on social media, what are they associating, how are they associating themselves with your brand. That is whole a part of customer experience.
It is, and this is what we call, when I worked in the world of Procter and Gamble, which is so well known for the world of
Yeah.
branding, we talked about them as moments of truth. It's really important that you have a consistent story because I said lots of your audience aren't visible to you yet. And yet, if you want to shift them from sitting on the sidelines to sitting in the front row and being a VIP in your client experience, you need to help them figure out, yep, I want that. Yes, I'm in the right room. And most importantly, you're the right guide or you're the right person
Yes.
that I want to invest with. And so, talk to me about, from your perspective, when does the investment of branding become a non negotiable for an emerging entrepreneur or for somebody who's been in business and maybe hasn't re-looked at this in quite a long time?
Yeah, so if let's start with when isn't a great time to invest in branding, right? I would start with, if you like have don't have a great offer, don't have a validated offer, people are not buying your product or service without a website, or yes, strong social media presence, they are not giving nice reviews, then it's not the right time to invest in branding. But since you have a great product or offer, you have a great marketing message, you are super clear about how you can position yourself in a saturated market, because 95% of times you are not reinventing the wheel,
Mhm.
you are doing exactly what others are doing. So the way you can differentiate is by giving your audience a difference and more elevated client experience. So that is where branding becomes non-negotiable, and it really gives you unbeatable competitive advantage that no one can copy. So I would say, when someone's in the scaling stage, once they have
Mhm.
validated the offer, then it's really a good time to go heavy on branding.
I think this is an interesting one because I think I would agree, first off, because I think often people put branding too early in their journey. They
Yeah.
start off thinking, I need a website, I need a logo, I need to do all these things, which are marketing in the umbrella. And I said, it's
Yeah.
not that you don't need them, but they're not the first thing you need. What you actually need first is conversation with potential clients, really
Exactly.
having the conversation that leads to, that's where they see value. Oh, that's really where the transformation happens, because we often think the journey is, the end goal is quite far away. And for our clients to invest, it's actually quite a lot of micro wins. And there's a lot of changes that happen as you get into those early conversations. And it's only once you really start to fundamentally understand, this is what I stand for, this is how I help people, and this is ultimately what they're looking for, then you can start to position
Yeah.
yourself. And that's the brand umbrella that you're talking about, which is
Yeah.
fine tune it, then really get heavy, because you're wanting to reinforce you're in the right room.
Yeah.
And I love that you're saying, you've got to make sure the offer's working. You've got to make sure you have an audience. And at that point, here's also another tip I'd like to ask you about. When should and how often should you refresh that branding?
Uh, so there can be factors which can lead you to think that you might need a rebrand, right? Um, Maybe you are like now targeting a different audience. So the way you're going to communicate to that audience might be different. Your messaging might be different, so you need a proper rebrand to communicate your value to that audience.
Mhm.
Maybe your offers are a bit different, and for those offers you need a proper rebrand so that you can communicate. So it be change in target audience or your offers.
Mhm.
It might be for you to a great time to think that you need a rebrand. And I would also like to, because there's a gap in our conversation that can mislead the people.
Mhm.
So a rebrand also depends on your industry. Like if you are a packaging company, you're selling like lipsticks, right? You have to stand out from day one to stand out on the shelves. So for that industry, branding is compulsory from day one. But since we are talking about experts, coaches, service providers, for them, I recommend that they should go heavy on branding once they are scaling their business.
I think that's a great distinction. Thank you for
Yeah,
bringing that to the table, because you're right. This audience that we're speaking to here, is a service-based entrepreneur. And what I think I want to add to this is, you know, a rebrand might be exactly that. If you are starting to shift who you're serving, or you're starting to realize that who's actually coming to you is maybe not who you suspected, it's time to fine tune the message. It's time to really either look at your copy, look at the website, look at your
yeah,
photography. And here's one thing that I know, and I always take this from the world of fashion, is every season has a different look and feel. It's not that the same overall impression isn't the same, but feel free to be current and
yeah,
topical. And so, that may mean that you might have, if I, in my case, I live in a winter climate, I had pictures done at winter time that I used in and around my social media at winter. If I am going to be, in the spring in 6 months time, I might want to have some lighter, different seasonal things in my business, because what that means is I am always current. And you do want to
yeah.
make sure that you feel on trend without chasing it. So think about some of that in your business. Would you agree with that? Is that a helpful thing for our audience to pick up and take with them into their business to amplify their marketing message?
Yeah, you raised a really good point, strong point. Like you have to be on trend. We can think of your visual branding, your logo, colors, and everything. To we can relate to them to fashion dresses, right? Like you see all these big companies, Apple, Nike, IKEA, they're continuously updating their branding, right? Apparently they don't need it, they are big enough, but the reason they are doing it because they want to be relevant, they want to be in trend. So just like fashion, your branding has to be relevant, it has to be um, it has to go with the trend, and that is also the reason that you should probably invest in branding.
Okay. One of the things that I want to chat about, so we understand that, there is different stages of a client experience.
Yeah.
You want to curate that impression. You want to be really clear, if you are wanting to attract a high paying client, make sure the experience is giving off that impression. And here's one thing that just lights my fire up, and it always frustrates me, is someone who says, I want to attract a high paying client, and by the way, I'm offering a $47 thing. Your client who's expecting to invest at a high level is looking for a high level of experience, and most important, a high level result. If
Yeah.
you put something on the table at $47, I'm going, that doesn't seem very necessary. It seems like a bait and switch. So I'm going to just put a strong statement out here for all of my audience. You know how I feel about that. It is about making sure you're delivering the result. What is the value of the result? Never cheapen it unnecessarily. And you don't need to ever discount your services. The way that that has eroded great brands in history, we could write an entire novel on. But talk to me about what you see as the most important touch points when you're curating something. You see this, I know, from a very big umbrella. Talk to
Yeah.
me about the touch points. Where do you start in really going back to revisit? How am I
So
presenting myself?
yeah, when it comes to mapping out your brand touch points, you have to consider these five stages: awareness, interest, desire, call to action, and advocacy. Right? We all know these five stages. Um, so you have to think of your touch points at each and every stage. For example, at awareness stage, you might be using Instagram post and Instagram stories. Right? For um, interest and consideration stage, you might be using Instagram reels or something, or a freebie, right? And a lead magnet, a masterclass, an ebook. And finally, for the conversion, you are using your website sales page, or a live event, a webinar, 5-day challenge. And for the advocacy, so that they can start referring you to other people. Maybe you have a good buy document. So this is whole a kind of process that is interlinked. What most people do is they would invest their time and money in social media creating content. They would get a brand new website, or they would create a freebie, but that whole system is not related. So it's like they have all pieces of puzzle, but they are not related. Like, for example, if someone's a, let's say, a weight loss coach, right? So I've seen this mistake made by so many coaches. They would create a freebie or a lead magnet, like 5 ways you can get better at sleep. This is not related. So the whole customer journey has to be related. And you have to have the end goal, that what you want to do at each touch point. Like, if you have a website, what's going to happen at each part of your website? What kind of audience are going to see your sales page? Are they warm audience, or are they someone who don't even know about you? So be crystal clear about the touch points, so that they can move the needle in your business.
I love these 5 touch points. This is something that if you've not
Yeah.
heard of these before, you want to come back and rewatch this little section here. We're talking about it because this is it. The goal is to nurture somebody on a journey. We've talked about that. We use the word client experience. Customer journey is also another phrase you might be familiar with. I always tell people, when you're building a journey with a potential client, you've got to think about the fact that neurologically, we're looking for micro wins. If you can buy 5 things or get 5 little agreements, then the
Yeah.
sixth one is almost a foregone conclusion. But the goal is stop treating your client growth or your audience attraction as an immediate jump from a first date to marriage, because that's why you're failing. What you want to
Yeah.
look at is this is the small nurturing around it, and know that the goal is to lead to the next stage, and it needs to be congruent so that people go, I still feel like I'm in the right place, I still feel like I'm in the right room, and they're gaining confidence. You're the right person to work with me. You're the right person who I feel is credible, I feel has the right knowledge and skills. You obviously have the confidence, and I'm going to borrow it until I can build my own. And at the end of the day, when you present that offer, it is a much easier conversion. And that's the last thing you talked about was, and once you've had the conversion and you've delivered at the very highest level, guess what? You get raving fans and people who say,
Yes,
what happens next? Right?
exactly.
Okay, so I want to wrap this up because I have a section here in this podcast, which is about I want you to amplify what's working right now. And so I want you to take a moment in your own business because you're somebody who's worked with a lot of clients. You attract a high paying client, which is what so many people really want to do from an aspirational point of view. Tell me what's the magic that's happening in your business right now that you know is working that our audience can take and start to apply.
So even though there have been so many things for the last years that have been working, but the most important one I would say, um, use as many automations as you can to templatize the processes because it's scalable, but it shouldn't feel templatized or automated from your audience's standpoint, right? So the difference is like in the start of my business, I used to spend hours and hours creating one proposal, but now I have a template. But what I do is I have a section which I make personalized, like the welcome note, and I would change some details and it would look really personalized to the customer's perspective. Same is
Mhm.
the case with the website. Like if everyone's like saying, or if someone's downloading the lead magnet and all they are saying on thank you page, um, check out your email, you will find your lead magnet there. Instead of that, you may add, you may go a step further, you may add a little welcome video, a thank you video, just congratulating them, thanking them for taking the first step, and just giving them few points where they can go next. So these are a bit of personalizations that you can add in your overall customer experience. Maybe it may be website, your onboarding experience, offboarding experience, but from your point, it should be automated so that you can save time and focus on what really makes you money.
I love that. Focus on what's making you money, guys. That's a really
Yeah,
important consideration. We don't want this to be an expensive hobby. We do need to create
yeah.
impact, and with impact, income always follows. Never ever doubt that. I love what you're saying here because it's twofold. Number one, you need to know and have mapped out the client journey. If you're going to map it out, it should be about delivering it again every time at the highest level. But remember that luxury experience. People want to be touching you with a really I see you one-to-one feel. And I love that insight to say, you know
Yeah.
what, don't forget to customize this because your individual client wants high touch, high impact, high results, and they are choosing you as an individual brand. If you've done this really well, it's a great accelerator to your business. So as we wrap our show today, I want to invite you, how do people come find you and learn more about what it is that you do?
Oh, I'm everywhere on social media, may it be Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Links, I hope the links will be in the info section. Apart from that, my website is expressocreative.com. So you can go there, find me, and there are few like live audits that I do each month. So you might have a chance to book one of those as well.
I absolutely love it. Rana, thank you so much for being our guest. Guys, this is a wrap on another episode of Amplify Your Marketing Message. We are here to help you break through that sea of sameness, see more success in your business. And today we've had a great conversation talking about creating a 7-star experience so that you can attract more of those high paying clients. It has been an absolute pleasure to have you as our guest. Guys, find the show notes down below, and we look forward to seeing you on our next conversation. If you've loved this episode, please give us that 5-star review because 7 just is not currently an option. And we will see you on our next episode. See you soon.